Cool. We're going to talk about strategies top agents use to win more deals with AI. AI, if you've been living under a rock, I think you've heard of it. And I think unless you've been living under a rock, and I think, but the question is, a lot of real estate agents are struggling with how to use it. Um, some of you are using it and some of you are not. And so I'd like to take a poll. Obviously a lot of you have tried it or used it, but this market, this industry is changing. Uh, Seems like weekly. Weekly, there's some crazy new app that's incredible. It's going to change the world and disrupt everything that we know about it. And it is quite frankly impossible to keep up. So I want to make this interactive. If you have a cool tip or tool you've used lately, mention it. And I'm going to go over what I like and what I've used. And then we could keep this interactive. We could all learn from each other because there is just too much out there that's incredible. Um, and let's go forward a little bit. Um, all right. So uh, just a little bit about me. I'm a real estate agent, number two condo agent in San Francisco once upon a time. I had built a brokerage called Climb Real Estate. We grew it really fast in the US, top 250 independent brokerage. We sold it to Realogy, which became Anywhere, which became Compass. What a crazy world we're in. Masters in electrical and computer engineering with a specialty in AI, prompt cowboy. I want to know what that is. And taught hundreds of agents how to win using technology. That's my angle. And then I founded Highnote.io, which is why you're in this call now. And let's talk about good HOA scanner. I have a couple HOA tools to talk about. Uh, so many tools out there. Pick one. Pick two, pick three, start using them. I personally use three of them, and I'm going to show you some examples of what I use. And obviously a ChatGPT, everyone should be on that. That's sort of like the Google of tools. Everyone uses it, everyone knows it's the fastest adopting software platform in history. And it's enough to say that it's a game changer. We use it for everything and anything. It's our doctor, it's our lawyer, it's our real estate coach, it's our friend, it's our girlfriend, it's our boyfriend, it's everything now, and it is nuts. So one thing that I like to do is I separate all my questions into different projects. I'm using it to teach me some vocabulary when I'm reading a book and I don't know a word. I put my personal stuff in there, which I'm not going to show you right now. Then I talk about real estate. So I have a real estate folder, and in here are all of the real estate questions I have given it over the years. I mean, this has been 3 years now that we've been third year, maybe second, third year probably on real est on using AI. And some of the things I've been using it for lately are things that really save time for a real estate agent. For example, rental value analysis, right? This one is a really great example of helping you do your job better. And I have a client who has a listing we just sold, and I helped them buy. And I was trying to do analysis on rentals, on what its rentability is. And as you know, that could take you easily an hour to kind of go through. So I had ChatGPT start out and help me, right? And I also wanted to analyze what are the factors that contribute to the rents of this unit. Now, this unit is a a unit 280 Spear 38C. It's known for a very big view. And I, I had it find me a bunch of data of other units, and skipping to it, I'll just show you the answers here. I said, give me some correlations between some of the features of the unit and the rental value. So I had data, I put it in there, and it said, the view. Well, the correlation is 0.23. It's positively correlated with the rental price. The view is good, the rents are high. Furnished. If it's furnished or unfurnished, there's a strong correlation with the rental price. Great. Etc. So I had it help me do that sort of analysis. Um, Also had it help me come up with suggested rents and help me come up with a marketing plan, ad copy, um, etc. So it's like a great virtual assistant that's semi-trained on real estate. You have to obviously be a babysitter to it because it's not perfect. And um, it's great. And then I kind of came up with some calculations. Um, how much does it correlate with the square footage, etc. So fantastic way to have um, ChatGPT help you with any sort of real estate task to save time. This saved me hours of time. I had someone asked me, how do you remove trees in a neighborhood? And I didn't know the answer, but I said, how do you cut down trees on my property in Hillsborough? And sure, you could Google this, but why go to Google anymore, right? You can, unless you just want AI summaries, which is great too. But I've been going to ChatGPT instead of Google, and kind of summarized all the sources. Almost all significant trees are protected. You must apply for a tree removal permit. Uh, and then valid reasons for removal. You can't just cut a tree down in California, in this town in California. Believe it or not, it needs to be either dead, dying, or unsafe. And if you cut this tree down, you could be fined if you don't replace it. You could cut it down, but you need to replace the tree. And unless you have a licensed arborist, yes, certified arborist needs to go in there and tell the city that, yes, this tree is dead or dying, etc. I mean, um, you know, talk about a nightmare, right? The intentions are good, but it becomes of a pain in the ass to live in California sometimes, right? Replacement trees are always so, I had this information, I sent it to my client, right? I double checked it and I understood it. Now, what I did was I said, great information. I want to write a blog post about this, right? And so what it did was, because I have a blog on a website where I'm trying to be the real estate expert in my area, and I said, make me a blog post. So it did. If you own a property in Hillsborough, removing a tree is not as simple as calling a tree service. Hillsborough has one of the most protective tree preservation ordinances on the peninsula, etc. So I had a little blog post written and I posted it. And so, as a real estate agent, it's one of the most unique industries on earth. You not only are in client services, but you also need to be good at marketing. And so ChatGPT can do both of those things and help you, right? And so that's what I did, but personally, and it's been a game changer, obviously, for me and everyone else. Now, um, if you have any good use cases in ChatGPT, feel free to send it. I got another great one. All right. So we all use it to write listing marketing, right? But what I decided to do was I just uploaded the images of the home to write listing marketing. And I'll show you an example of how crazy this was. And Let me see here. So I said, write a property description of this loft at 18 Lansing, two bedroom, two bed, 1,500 square foot live work loft with one of a kind roof deck, right? That's the prompt. And then I uploaded the images because I'm too lazy to tell it everything that's in the unit. Why would I do that? So when I have AI. So what it did was it looked at the images and then it started spitting this out. It said two generously sized bedrooms, including a primary suite with direct access to an outdoor space. And I said, what? I didn't tell you any of that. How did you figure that out? And I said, where did you get these specifics? I didn't upload any image of the primary bedroom, um, and that it connects to an outdoor space. Like I didn't tell you I upload pictures, but I didn't say that was a primary bedroom, and I didn't say it connected with an outdoor space. And so it said, here's how I inferred it. But to be clear, it was an educated guess, not a verified fact. In the rooftop photos you uploaded, there's a bed visible through the large sliding glass doors leading directly to the private deck. The bed is larger. It appears to be a queen or a king, and the room looks more spacious than a typical secondary bedroom or office space. In most two bedroom, two bath loft layouts of this size, the bedroom with direct outdoor access is typically the primary suite, both for livability and resale value. So while I couldn't know with certainty, I reasoned that the room directly opening to the private deck was most likely the primary. Do you see what it did here? It actually analyzed the image and it started to reason that that image contained this loft has a primary bedroom suite that is connected to the outdoor space. And guess what? It was correct. I was sort of blown away by this. And this is what it saw. It saw this bed inside the window and said, this is the primary bedroom suite. It was correct. It was correct. It guessed it, but it was actually correct and spot on. I was actually quite blown away by um, this use case of what it did. Um, what else did I do? Well, then I said, all right, let's play around here. You know what? This roof deck is incredible, but it looks lonely without people on it. And can you add people to this image, enjoying wine on the furniture and make it right before sunset? And that's what it did. It added people here, adjusted the lighting, and made it sunset. And then so this is the original, right? And then I said, now make it evening. Makes it evening. Add a fire pit and heat lamps to add more lights on building and add more lights on buildings. Does that too? I thought I was pretty blown away by that. Now, Nano Banana. Um, Nano Banana is created by Google, and Nano Banana, when it came out a few months ago, was it kind of took the world by storm. And I'll tell you what it does. Um, it's able to take one picture and manipulate that picture into different angles, and especially people. So what I said to Nano Banana, I said, hey, take this picture of me. I wanted a picture of me in this rental unit that I had, right? And I said, get this picture of me. Um, I'm here jumping in Norway, taking a picture with my family. And I said, take this picture of me, put it in the unit. All right, so the first step was to say that, and what it did was it took the picture of me and put it in the unit. It put it in the fireplace. I said, well, that's not what I meant. What I meant was take a picture of me and make me jumping in the unit. And so it did that, right? Okay, fine. That's easy to do. But I said, well, put me inside the unit and make me sitting around in different spots. So it took a model of me, and then it manipulated me and made me sitting down in different spots within the home. And then I said, uh, let's see here. Yeah, and so that's what Nano Banana can do. It can manipulate one image of you and maintain the character and change you in different directions. Now, who else can do that? Well, Sora, which is a product by OpenAI, and it's accessible right in your chat GPT, can also do something similar, right? So I said, take this picture of me, and I need to make a picture of me speaking to a bunch of agents in an audience. Now, the only bad thing is it made me look like my dad. It made me look older and definitely not as handsome. And and then uh, um, I asked Nano Banana to do the same thing, and this is what it did. One second, I'm not able to scroll to the next slide. Come on. All right, here we go. So I said, take this image of me and put me on the balcony. So it did that. And I said, well, I don't want to be like that. I want to face looking out on the balcony. So it did that here. It put me here and made me lean here, but it gave me this gut. I don't have this big gut. And then and then I said, no, turn me to the left facing outwards. So it started from this image and it went to here and it went to here. So, and then it add the sun at the right angle. If you notice, the angle of the sun was coming this way. It added all the shadows. It's pretty incredible. Um, and then also another image manipulation tool, Dream from ByteDance, the company that owns TikTok. And I said, you know, change this daytime image into a nighttime image. And Dream was this one up top on the top right. And this was ChatGPT, made it a little dark, made it a little Batman-like. And then Nano Banana didn't really turn it into nighttime. But Dream did really well. Um, my point is that these tools are all capable of doing amazing things. Some are better than others, but pick some and just experiment. Now, the next frontier, AI browsers. If you're not already using it, I would switch to a browser. And I know Chrome just launched chatting in Chrome, and I think that just happened last week. Um, but uh, Comet is the one I use. And what does it do? Well, it allows you to just open a chat window to the right of what you're looking at and to just have ChatGPT like LLM right in your window. And it can take control of your window. It can search for you. It can analyze things. So here's what I did. Here's a practical use case of this. I got an email and it was a $10 million home in Pacific Heights at 3,800 square feet. And I said, wow, that's expensive. That seems kind of high. So I said, is this home fairly priced? And rather, what would you normally do? Well, if you didn't know the market, you would have to go log in, search for all homes within a quarter-mile radius of 2550 Baker Street, 3 bedroom, 4.5 baths. So you look for all 3 bedroom homes around there. Then you have to kind of analyze, and then the results are going to be all over the place because some are going to be like 2 million and some are going to be 15 million. And then you got to kind of figure out. So, but I just said, you know what? Let me just ask chat. Uh, uh, in fact, I asked Comet, Perplexity, which is owned by Perplexity, to search. And I said, hey, is this home fairly priced? The property at 2550 Baker is listed for 10 million, 9.995, Pacific Heights. And then what it said was price per square foot, 2,600 a foot, quite high, but not unheard of for top tier Pacific Heights properties with views and high end architecture. And then it gave me three examples of homes that recently sold at that range. And it says this $10 million asking price sits on the upper end, but is defensible if blah, 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 blah. So it's an incredible time saver, obviously, because I typed 5 words. Is this home fairly priced? And it gave me all this analysis. So it's like a buyer agent for you. It's like a VA assistant that can get you through your day faster. Now, um, let's see. So another thing I did was with the comment browser, I was able to mass connect with uh, contacts that were emailed to me on LinkedIn. And so I got this email and it had multiple people on it, but I said, hey, connect with this person on my LinkedIn. And it went to my LinkedIn. It said, "Oh, he's already listed as a first degree connection. You don't need to connect." Great. How about Tom Spaniel? Because these two people were in my email list. And it said connection request successfully sent to Tom Spaniel on LinkedIn. Huge time saver. I don't need to go to LinkedIn or check or do anything like that. What else? Notebook LM. Notebook LM is a really fantastic tool made by Google. And what does it do? Well, if you haven't used it already, it's a great way to learn something. And you're studying for something or you're trying to understand something. It's an interesting way to learn something differently. So the way it works is you basically upload sources and um, so here I wanted to learn about a neighborhood that I'm not super familiar with. It's a neighborhood in the peninsula of San Francisco called San Carlos. Not super familiar with it. I have a client, a friend who owns a home there, and he wants me to help him sell the home. Great. I'd be glad to help you. I'm not a San Carlos expert, but I know how I can be one quickly. So I just went to Notebook LM and I uploaded all kinds of stuff. Let me log in as me. And I uploaded all kinds of stuff that I found that I wanted it to learn from. And I said, create me a guide about San Carlos. And it did that. And then there's all these things you can do. You could create, and then some of these things are new that I haven't even seen lately. And I'm going to share my sound here. So, one cool thing that it did was it creates a podcast uh, about San Carlos between two people talking. So, let's see what this says. Let's see if this is it.
Imagine finding that sweet spot, you know? A place where life is kind of quiet, serene, but you've still got all the energy and opportunity of city life nearby.
Yeah, like blending history with modern vibes.
Exactly. It's this perfect balance that so many people are looking for, especially here in the Bay Area.
It really does sound ideal. That mix of old and new,
Yeah.
calm and connected. It sounds like the promise behind San Carlos,
So they
a city of good
created
living.
a podcast of two people talking about San Carlos. And then what else did it do? Gave me a briefing doc about it, which is easy. It gave me a mind map of it, right? Real estate and housing, and then I could do market statistics. And then, the average rent, home price. Um, what else can it do? You could make flashcards from it. Uh, it could make me now a slide deck. I never tried that. Quiz. Let's see this quiz. Generate an interactive quiz. This is brand new. I haven't seen this lately. This is all new. It's coming fast and furious. video overview. So let's see what it did.
All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're taking a trip down to the San Francisco Peninsula to check out a city with, well, a pretty bold claim. We're going to see if San Carlos, California really lives up to its nickname. And there it is.
So it
A
makes
unique
me a little,
mix. That's really the secret sauce of the things you do.
For $2 million.
Still trade-off. It's also, do you want to be way
yeah,
back as a little spot called the
no.
town of
Gives me the history of San Carlos. So, I don't know about you, but reading this, you could easily read this, but I'm a visual guy. I like to get, someone to help me teach me this stuff. And you learn better by presenting the material in a different way to yourself. Quiz, flashcard, slide, infographic. Let's see what the quiz was that it built. So, according to the historical overview, what industry was central to San Carlos' growth into promising city during the late 1920s? I have no idea. Maybe aviation. Not quite. Right answer. Agriculture. Perfect. A potential home buyer is looking for a neighborhood known for its collection of pre-war properties. Which San Carlos neighborhood best fits this description? This is amazing, right? I can learn all about San Carlos in this way. I have no idea. So let's say White Oaks. That's right. The source highlights this neighborhood for its historical charm and collection of pre-war properties that still carry with them their undeniable glory. Let's see. Which San Carlos neighborhood is described as trading walkability to downtown for amenities, larger lots, canyon views? Oh, I know this. So it's Burton Park or Beverly Terrace. This source material specifically states that residents of this hilly neighborhood trade downtown access for features like expansive lots and natural scenery. Great. Now I learned two things about these two micro neighborhoods in San Carlos. See how powerful this is? Notebook LM is really, really pretty amazing to learn stuff. I was using it also to learn. Um, I was taking my real estate test, and I had it teach me about subdivisions and conversions, which is a really boring topic. So I just uploaded the information. I downloaded the MP3 and uploaded it here, and then I had it create stuff for me so I can learn it better. All right. If there's no questions, I'm going to move on. Let's see. So that's Notebook LM. Go to the next slide, please. All right, Manus, my favorite tool on earth. Manus is an agent tool that was originally built in China, and they moved to Singapore, and then they were bought by Meta. And yes, Shelly, Manus is really incredible, and I use it for everything and anything now. And they could do the same thing that LLM did. I'm sorry, Notebook LM, but in a different way, right? I had it uh, do deep research for me on San Carlos as well. Um, I uh, I I use it for doing contract and paperwork handling. And so what I did was I had this offer, and what we like to do is to summarize the offer, and we create a one pager with the key dates and terms. So I upload, and we used to have a human do this, right? We hired people to create these fact sheets. And, so I just uploaded it to Manus now to have a fact sheet created. And let's see if I have an example of that. Yeah, so what I did was here's the one-page summary. Let me see if I have it. Yeah, here's the one-page summary. Key parties, offer date, how much is the purchase price, the initial deposit, etc. And I made a 6-pager. I had to condense it to one, but the first thing was to see if it could read the thing. Seller to credit the buyer the costs of buyer agency commission, contingencies, first loan, appraisal, buyer investigations, etc. And it did a great job. So what do you need humans for? Right? Yeah, so that's what I did. Oh, HOA docs. All right, let me pause for a second here. Question: what is the value of signing into ChatGPT versus staying as a guest? You could stay as a guest, but you can't save history of your chats. You can't create projects, and I like to save histories of things so I can go back to that one thing I was searching for. Can't go back to images that you created, whatever. So it's just like it's just a better way to manage all of your stuff, your past searches, etc. All right, let me show you a specific tool. Um, I've seen a couple of these HOA document analyst tools, and I tried it. HOA Hero is a really good one. There's a promo code MyHero to get your first report free. But basically analyzing CCNRs, bylaws, financials, and reserve study, insurance, board minutes, and have it all download as a PDF. Now, you could do the same thing in Manus or ChatGPT, but this I trust is more trained on HOA documents and tailored towards it. So give it a shot, see if that works for you. HOAHero.ai. And buying or selling a home, get an AI-powered summary of the transaction documents. So I think it's a cool thing, and it's worth trying. I used Manus to do tenant screening. So I got 6 applications. Uh, sorry, 3 applications on a home I was leasing out. That 18 Lansing, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square foot, 2-bedroom loft that I showed earlier, and I got 3 different applications. Each of the applications had 2 applicants each, so that's 6 separate applications that I had to review, and kind of a pain in the butt. So I had Manus. Yeah, I'm going to be talking about Highnote in a second as well. And Manus, helped me do this. I uploaded all of the folders. I put all the folders and applications of the folders into folders. And I said, go through all these folders, analyze these applications, and then highlight for me some things that I should look at. And what it did was it created, pulled out every key information about these people, where they're currently employed, who's the HR manager, how much they make, what's their credit score. And then I said, great, now give me some recommendations about their applications and who would you recommend? And it started going through it. And then it showed me, hey, this one guy doesn't have a good credit history. They missed a mortgage payment. And I'm trying to find where the end is. But it summarized it for me, and it said, here are all of the landlord references. It said that I would recommend this client over this one because this person missed a mortgage payment or missed a bill payment, and then it saved me a ton of time. And oh yeah, here it is. Rental application comparison. Kind of put them all in a spreadsheet for me. It told me, it summarized all the information for me, and then it gave me some things to look out for and highlighted some issues. It was really, really a humongous time saver. Of course, you need to double check everything, make sure it's right, but it was quite incredible. I used Manus to also create videos for social media. What I did was I said, hey, I had these market reports, but I wanted to get videos of uh, the homes in the area. And the first take of it was, well, it made me a home of San Francisco, and which is great, Victorian homes. But I didn't want San Francisco. I wanted the peninsula. I didn't have any videos of the peninsula, and it gave me this one. This was the home, but this is in Tiburon. This is north of San Francisco. And then, so I said, give me homes of the peninsula. And so what it did was it, and I gave it some examples. I said, I want homes of Atherton, San Mateo, and Hillsborough. And don't give me any Victorians or Tiburon properties. So he said, great. So what it did was it went to go research online Atherton homes, San Mateo homes, and Hillsborough homes. And then it made me videos. This is a home. It made me and said it was Atherton home. Yes, that looks like an Atherton home. It made me one of Hillsborough. Yes, this looks just like a Hillsborough home. And it made me one of San Mateo. And yes, this looks just like a San Mateo home. And I didn't have to tell it very much. Manus kind of reads your mind, and it actually does a pretty dang good job of this is another Hillsborough home of figuring out what you want to do, and it goes further. I think that's a great way to describe Manus. Now, running comps, I'm meeting a seller, give me comps around this home. You know, obviously it does that. And I said, hey, these comps are too wide of a sales range, narrow it down. And it did that. And it showed, oh yeah, for this home, it's 2.95 to 3.65, $50,000 or sorry, $500,000 difference. But it's this is how we, if it's something is around 3 million bucks, you want to kind of, it could be up to 3 to 3.5, right? So it gave me all that. It gave me a great breakdown of the comps, pulled it out for me, saved me a ton of time. I didn't have to go into MLS and do all that. I also said, hey, give me some suggestions for upgrading the curb appeal of the home. This is what it looks like. And my seller asked me this question. And I said, I asked ChatGPT and Manus, um, give me, some practical things to do to increase the curb value of the home. And it gave me landscaping, painting recommendations. So I said, great, render me an image of what it could look like. It put plants in. It repainted the door. This is what it looked like originally, and this is what it looks like after, right? It's not perfect, but it gave me some interesting things to talk about when I spoke to it. It's just getting better and better. I used ChatGPT to role play. Um, I had Chinese buyers coming in from China. I haven't used Chinese to sell a home in a long time, and this was their budget, 2 to 4 million. And I said, my Mandarin is rusty. Can you please pretend to be a buyer and role play the whole conversation with me? Um, ChatGPT turned into a Chinese buyer, and I was having a conversation with ChatGPT, role playing, um, buying them, pretending to be a buyer in the $2 to $4 million range. And I was having a conversation with it, and it taught me. All right, Highnote.io. Ultimate listing presentation builder. And we have some cool features that we included in here. I'm going to show you right now some of the cool things that we have in here. Let me start with a new presentation. And so what we have here is an AI asset builder. So what we can demonstrate today is building an agent bio, a team, or a company. So let's just say I'm going to build an agent bio, and there's this great team that I want to demonstrate, Ann Howarth from Oxnard, and let's say I'm on her team, right? And let's say I'm Billy Davidson on her team. So I want to do a bio of me, Billy Davidson, Billy Davidson. And I would say I would just paste the link in there. And the link was just this link here, the About Us page. And let's generate the content for Billy Davidson. So what we see here is what it will do is it'll create, I'm Billy Davidson, and then it pulled up an image of Billy Davidson right here. And with several years of experience, I've honed my skills and understanding. And so what I could do is move this here. Now we have Billy Davidson. Great. Now I want my team. So what I'm going to do again is I am going to say team. And the team's name is Ann Howarth Group. So I'm just going to say Ann Howarth Group. And I'm going to paste the same link again. And I'm going to generate a slide based on this. And let's see what it does. So it's about Ann Haworth Group, expert real estate team specializing in coastal dreams. Great. At the Ann Haworth Group, we are proud to be recognized leading perfect. And they gave me a bunch of different images to use for the group. So it's Ann Haworth Group. So I'm going to pick Ann Haworth. Now, Ann Haworth is part of Remax. So I want to talk about Remax because an agent is not just hiring me, Billy, I'm Billy today, but they're hiring my team and the brokerage, right? So let's just say I want to build something about Remax. And so let's do that. And I'm going to use the same link that I just used. And it's going to go find everything about Remax. And hopefully we'll build this here. Unlock your coastal dreams with Remax. At Remax, we're passionate about turning your coastal dream perfect. So gave me some logos. I am going to use this Remax Gold Coast logo and resize it so it fits perfectly. Great. So now I created this great presentation. And let's see what it looks like. So, about me, Billy Davidson, my team, and my brokerage. So really quick way to use AI to build great buyer and listing presentations. And we're adding a ton more features every week. All right. I'm going to continue because I had a lot to talk about still. It's 10:50. All right. I'm going to leave it. Well, I'm going to leave it open for questions right now. But some advice, get on the bandwagon. Stop going to Google. Start using ChatGPT, Gemini, Manus, and start paying for these tools because you get a lot better features with paid versions. Claude is another very popular one. And start messing around and start integrating them into your workflow. One easy thing you can do is get an AI browser. Perplexity has the Comet, which is a great browser. And it's based on Chrome's technology. So you're not, like, the transition to Chrome from Chrome to Comet is not that bad. Chrome also has AI features. I think they just upgraded, they originally introduced, I didn't like it as much as what Comet can do. And but Chrome has come out with one too. So has anyone used any of these AI browsers? Please comment in here. And then also scan this and you get a free guide on how to win listings. We have a great guide that we put together. You also get 20% off of Highnote and 500 credits for Manus. So scan that. You're going to get that sent to you. Yeah, I'm going to pause for any questions or any feedback at this time. We got a whole bunch. I use Claude browser to search AirDNA for specific criteria that I was looking for with our next investment purchase. Blown away. Yes, that's great. to search and I've never done that, but I've done yeah, done a bunch of similar stuff. Yeah, that's great. Claude and Perplexity, fantastic. Any other use cases? So let's see. Does Chrome offer an AI chat component now? Yep. So they now have a Gemini sidebar in here. Cool. Thank you, Bruce. Um, Bruce, Bruce is a big fan of Hino. Thank you for supporting us. All right, great. AI mode. Great. So I hope this was helpful. I'm gonna let me see if I could share anything else. Any other questions? Fantastic. Thank you, Pat. Spacing or fonts? Yes, we'll get back to you on that. But yes, there is. So let's see. Here's another great thing I did with Manus. I'm trying to organize, and this is not real estate related, but it's kind of time related, right? I had to organize a private dinner for 20 in private dining rooms in San Francisco. I don't have a lot of time, and I don't have a lot of time to search for every single restaurant in San Francisco and which ones have the private rooms. So I told Manus to do that for me. And so it started looking and found me a bunch of stuff, gave me 12 options, and I noticed there was a couple were missing. And I said, hey, you're missing a couple more. And I said, what about Kokari and Prospect? I know they have rooms. I said, you're right. I updated it here, and then it made me this great little cheat sheet, right? And what these rooms are. And I said, great. How about Lazy Bear? And I said, oh yeah, I forgot that one. So then I started adding that one too. And then it updated it. And then I said, build me a website about this. And then it said, okay, great, I'll make a website for you. And what did it do? It made me a website. And let me show you what it is. And I said, update the website to give me put phone numbers on there, and then it did that. So let me show you what it did. It made me this website, okay? And uh, it actually added this neighborhood filter. I didn't ask for this, but it's damn useful. Nob Hill, right? I want one in a Mission, ABV. Perfect. And it added cuisines filter. I didn't ask for any of this. Michelin stars. Um, so this is the power of Manus. And it added me a book now. Um, Pretty incredible. So gave me everything I needed. And now it's a live website that I can publish online on the internet. Uh, it's pretty amazing what you can do with Manus. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. Lovable, yes, lovable. That's fantastic to use it for landing pages and websites. That is great. If you want a demo of Highnote and see all the latest features, book a time with Chris. Cowboy prompts. I'm gonna check this out, Leslie. That's fantastic. Is there a way to add you as an agent suggestion for the San Carlos area video? Oh, I see. But yeah, you could just put yourself in you could probably add your agent bio to the Notebook LM thing and have it recreate a video for you for sure. You can make it do anything you want. Um, it's crazy. All right, prompt cowboy. I'm gonna try this out. Cool. Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys, thank you so much. This is an evolving talk, and AI is crazy, as you can imagine, and all kinds of great use cases um, keep coming up all the time. Thank you, everyone. We're going to be sharing a recording to this, and thanks for coming.